It's 5 p.m.
Alright, quiet on the set.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Let's start the party.
Broadcasting around the world.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
This is your number one internet station. The music you love right here, right now.
OurBroadcastLink.com.
It's another live broadcast. Special edition. Now your hosts, Rob and Jerry.
Hey, well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Whatever it is, it's all good because you guys are here with us and we're here with you on Polkas After Dark.
On our broadcast link.
With a C.com.
And also
on Facebook.
And
YouTube.
Okay.
Stop that. Hey, you know, we're going to be entertained by Mr. Eddie Biegaj. He is getting off the stage here momentarily over there in, let's see, where the heck is he at? He's performing in Pennsylvania at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. So let's go ahead and start the broadcast out with a song that he sings with Crusade. Here's one called Gather Round.
Gather round, hear the sound, don't you know? We'll lay it down with a style you can't let go. Everybody lose your seat, snap your fingers to the beat. Who's in town? Let's get down, gather round. Oh yeah, we're gonna rock. Longtime friends, brand new fans, they're lined up round the block. Grooving tight, we want you feeling right. Party down, good times I found with us tonight. Gather round, hear the sound, don't you know? We'll lay it down with a style you can't let go. Everybody lose your seat, snap your fingers to the beat. Get your neighbors, bring your friends, tell them all to come on in. Grooving tight, we want you feeling right. Party down, good times are found with us tonight. Break it down! Gather round, hear the sound, don't you know? We'll lay it down with a style you can't let go. Everybody lose your seat, snap your fingers to the beat. Cruising town, let's get down, gather round. Gather round, hear the sound, don't you know? We'll lay it down with a style you can't let go. Everybody lose your seat, snapping your fingers to the beat. Cruising town, let's get down, gather round.
Hey, that's the sound of Crusade with Mr. Eddie Biegaj on the vocal. Hey, we want to welcome you guys to Polkas After Dark, and it's the Sunday afternoon edition. And that's where we always say where the crazy people meet on the weekend to have fun. And boy, if you are crazy like us, then
You have come to the right place.
yes, you have. And I also want to make mention here, too, that we have a lot of great interviews coming up. You saw a little bit of a screen flash there. And we also want to let you guys know about something very important that is going to be coming up sometime around October of this year.
Coming this October to Polkas After Dark, a series titled A Walk Through Polka Heaven. This multi-part series features music from loved ones no longer with us. Their music will live on forever in our hearts and over the airwaves. You'll hear stories from family members and musicians who performed alongside them. A Walk Through Polka Heaven. Watch it only on Polkas After Dark.
And we're excited about that because we had the extreme pleasure, I should say, of interviewing a whole host of folks at the USPA, and we've got some more interviews that are coming up, and even some interviews that are going to be done by Selfie, believe it or not, and then they're going to end up shipping it off to us, to our email address, and we'll be able to get everybody all lined up. That takes place in October. We are excited about that. Jerry and I have decided that it's going to be on a Saturday evening. It may be a special time because we're going to be hitting into the winter months, getting darker earlier, so to speak. Hey, but let's go ahead and bring up a song for Ms. Gail Wojtowicz. She's here along with a whole host of other people here. Looks like Mr. Vincent Sosnowski. That's easy for me to say. Kathy Sargent is here, along with Linda Petrozeski, Gail Wojtowicz once again, Chris Tansky. Chris, we're glad that you had a lot of fun with that promo that we did for the Polka Booster Picnic. Hopefully it's not going to be as disastrous as it was last night, but we do want to make sure that people go out and attend that picnic because that's going to be a lot of fun again this year. Hey, Loretta Curtis Mackle is here. Also, Mr. Bob Saharsky. It looks like, Tommy Hoke, brother Tom, is down there in Pennsylvania. And we also have Mr. Steve Gramulla that's tuned in. Beverly Nibel, also Bonnie and Jay Skiba. Holy smokes, happy Sunday to you guys, too. And it looks like Lisa and Greg Skavronik are with us this afternoon, as well as Mr. Ryan Tallis out there in Ohio. And Jerry, how about give a quick rundown of a couple of people there in our chat room over there at our broadcast?
Very quick. We have Chris Curtis, Donna Zielinski with Teresa and Sarah, and Ivan Mayers over in our broadcast. And then we have Scotch and Donna, of course, keeping us company over there on YouTube.
All right. Well, here you go, Gail. Here's one for you, one called I Want Someone. Here's your favorite band, Box On. Hey, that's the sound of Box On and the gang, and Alex does a great job now playing drums with Polka Family. Also, that guy out there in Minnesota, what the heck's his name? Chris Ebel. That's right, Chris Ebel has been playing concertina with Polka Family. Of course, Joey on bass and violin, just a fantastic band that Hank has right now, and we were very privileged to catch them last week at the USPA. Was it last week? Was it the week? Yeah, last week. No, week before. Because we had the I know, it's these days are jumbling together and everything like that. Hey, we're going to also say hello to Helena Garbach. She's here this afternoon with us. Hey, don't forget who else is going to be here momentarily, and that's going to be Eddie Biegaj. He has just finished up a set over there at Nazareth, Pennsylvania. We'll hear a little bit about his gig today and who he gigged with. And here's another one featuring Edu on the vocal with TPM. Here's one called Party All Night Long.
You want to hear one more? I said, did you want to hear one more?
Boy, this is gonna cost somebody a whole lot of schnapps. You guys ready to party out there? No, I said, you guys ready to party out there? Well, let's party all night long. Let's go. Let's go. Went to a party the other day. Got there in time to hear the band play. What a surprise, it was CPM. Whole person crazy when it started the jam. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. Cruising the streets of New York City, checking out the ladies looking mighty pretty. 3 blonde babes in a ragtop Ford, TPM printed on the doors. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. Let's go party. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Looking for a party ain't too easy to do, but I got some news that's just for you. Next time you think about breaking up the jam, turn on TPM and once the party began, we're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. Party with the band till we fall on face. Wake up in the morning in another state. Now I don't care if this is sin. Give me the beer and let the party begin. We're gonna party all night long. What we gonna do, Toledo? We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long. We're gonna party all night long.
Hey, yeah, that is a sound of Toledo Polka Motion. That was, of course, recorded live at Holy Toledo Polka Days quite a few years back. Hey, we're going to be talking with Eddie Biegaj real soon, and he's going to be telling us all about a whole host of things that are happening down his way, and maybe even out our way, too. We will have a whole lot of time to chat with him this afternoon. Hey, we have Mr. Joe Michelik. He is on the broadcast here today as well. We want to welcome you, Joe. Thank you so much for tuning in to Polkas After Dark. We're also going to say hello to Amy McCann. She's joining us once again. She says, hi, Polish friends. Also, Carol Barron. Carol, welcome to Polkas After Dark, the Sunday afternoon edition. And we're going to bring up Mr. Joe Michelik right now, a tune that we love to play. Here's one called Dorotka Polka.
Ty ze mnie szydzisz, Dorotka, ty ze mnie szydzisz. Ty mnie tylko wtedy kochasz, kiedy mnie widzisz.
Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz, Dorotka. Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz.
Z ciebie nie szydzę, chłopaku, z ciebie nie szydzę, bo cię zawsze szczerze kocham, choć cię nie widzę.
Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz, Dorotka. Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz.
Sprzedam ciele na jarmarku za 4 bite i wyprawię weselisko sute obfite.
Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz, Dorotka. Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz.
A to wszystko dla cię, luba, dla cię jedyna, boś ty tylko w świecie jedna moja dziewczyna.
Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz, Dorotka. Hop, hop, da, 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 kiedy mnie widzisz.
Oh yeah, Joe Michelik and the orchestra, one called the Dorotka Polka. Man, if that doesn't get your toes a tapping on a Sunday afternoon, nothing does. Hey, we're going to say hello to Les and Alice Kapuscinski. They're tuned in to Polkas After Dark. And once again, Les, thank you so much for all of your contributions with your pictures and everything that you send to Polkas After Dark so that we can make these interviews a little more enlightening. He's a photographer extraordinaire. We've said that millions and millions of times. And of course, we do mean that from the bottom of our hearts. Hey, how about Frankie Lishka? A little bit of Frankie Lishka for Chris Tansky and all the TBC fans. Here's a quick medley. Looks like Mr. Tony Biawe has joined the group. Also, JP. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you and the lovely missus.
Lately we've been fighting about everything, and everything I do it seems is wrong. Someday I'm not gonna take it anymore. You keep it up and baby I'll be gone. 'Cause it takes two to love, it takes two to dream, it takes two to fight, and you are always right it seems. Someday when you're all alone and you have no one, just keep in mind it's all because it takes two to love. I'll be there in the morning, I'll be there in the evening, I'll be there anytime that you want me. When your skies are looking cloudy, just take the phone and call me. I'll be there anytime that you need me. When things are getting to you, baby, you know who to turn around, and honey, there I'll be. How can I convince you my world revolves around you? There I'll be, there I'll be, there I'll be. Someday I'm going back to see my sweet Melinda. When I see her, I'm just gonna let her know that she's the only girl for me in this whole wide world, and I'll never let my sweet Melinda go. Ja mi nie powrócę do mojej słodkiej Melinda, do tej dziewczyny, co ją tak mocno kocham. czekam.
Yes, sirree, for Chris Tansky, the president of the Buffalo Polka Boosters. And we are anxiously awaiting.
Yeah.
That stuff just doesn't hold too good anymore, does it?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, for Chris Tansky, the president of the Buffalo Polka Boosters. She says, thanks for TBC. Hey, we love TBC. We could play them every single minute of the day. And sometimes we do when we're traveling. Ain't that the truth?
We do.
Let's see. I'm going to let you talk a little bit about, why don't you get your cheat sheet out for the, now, you sure you can do this, right?
I can today.
Okay. Why don't you mention the 52nd annual picnic of the Buffalo Polka Boosters? Take it away, Jerry.
That will be held on Sunday, July 24th, 2022 from 2 until 7 p.m. at the
No, that was just
Fontana's Picnic Grove, 2299 Clinton Street in Buffalo, New York. Music will be provided by Buffalo's newest polka band, 7. Food served from 3 to 6. It's hamburgers, hot dogs, and some Polish sausage, as well as salads. And, of course, there's always watermelon.
Yes.
Bring your own pitcher for beer. No BYOB. Water and pop will also be available. One price for everything. Up until June 22nd, it's $20. Anytime after that and up to at the door will be $25. Children up to the age of 12 are free when they are accompanied by an adult. Advance tickets are highly recommended. Tickets are available now, and there are no refunds on the tickets once you purchase them.
Yeah.
For more information on the Buffalo Polka Booster 52nd Annual Picnic, you can call Chris Tansky at 716-771-1076 or give Barb Morose a call at 716-668-2694.
Oh, you made it through that one pretty good today. It's not like
only
last
with that
night.
stutter, the timer going off.
The timer going off. That means we got to get a hold of Mr. Eddie Biegaj. And while we're doing that, why don't you listen to Scrubby, a little bit of Tony and Aggie's polka?
Przyszedł Jakusi i nie płacę gminta na spanteje kuście. Jak duża jedłucha, prędko leciała, bo ona też Antka wokół nie kokała. Poszli tam do lasa i się łapali, nawet też w stanku wciąż się całowali. Antek racie prosi, że ty je łapiła, a ona przyrzekła, że będzie kokała. Idź, Helca, idź! Zamkiem wreszcie pocieszała, ale na wecieli, gdzie mamusia piła, mama w lesie była, na spłacie płaciła, Antek on na kuście więcej nie zobaczy.
Hey, that is the late Scrubby Severeniak doing one for you called Tony and Aggie's Polka. And again, the moment that we have all been waiting for, we are fortunate and blessed to have with us this afternoon Mr. Eddie Biegaj, and he's not coming in from his residence. He's actually on location at a gig. But Edu, can you hear us?
I got you guys loud and clear, Robin, and I want to say thank you first off for having me here. And what an act to follow. Scrubby with the Donatones, Tony and Aggie. Aggie, I should say, not Aggie. I mean, that's a classic Connecticut Twins tune, and I know Scrubby was a huge Eastern-style fan just like I am. And, man, Robin, I want to say thank you for having me first off. Thank you so very much.
Hey, well, no, thank you for taking time. I mean, you are a tough guy to get boxed in here. To do something. You're all over the place, Edu. It's amazing, but with your talent, we can understand why.
With working 60 hours a week, third shift, and then working with 7 different bands right now. Yeah, my time is a bit, and I'm still trying to renovate the new house. So,
beautiful.
Other than that, I got nothing to do.
Hey, how do you pronounce the city or the town that you live in? Is it Germansville?
Well, it's spelled Germansville, but they pronounce it Germansville. I think probably somewhere around World War II, they probably had a little bit of a fallout with the fatherland and probably changed the name just a little bit. So
Interesting. Hey, I'm going to start this out just like I normally do. I want to find out, and so do a lot of other people. How old were you, Edu, when you heard your first polka song?
I was in my mother's womb. She was up on stage playing clarinet with my mom and dad's band, Danny and Gina Biegaj, on the Rhythm Air. So at the first moment that I was conceived, I probably heard polkas.
Wow, that's beautiful. And then, how many instruments do you play? I mean, you play accordion, you play concertina. What don't you play? It'd probably be easier.
Well, zither. I'm working on that though, but. and from the medieval period, sackbut. I always wanted to pick up sackbut. No, I play drums. That's my best instrumental thing. Voice is my absolute best thing, and I dabble on accordion and concertina. I do my job. That's all. I've always had great guys like Randy Krajewski, Eric Height, Rocky to play lead accordion. And I got the chance to back them up. So. I was happy doing that. That way I could sing my ass off for everybody.
Now, also, let me ask this if I could. What was the first band that you ever performed in? Was it Mom and Dad's band?
No, it was actually, well, yes, it was. Yeah. If you go back to Waits Grove in Toledo, Ohio, if there's anybody tuned into Toledo and they're old like I am, you'll remember a place called Waits Grove, and I actually got up and played a couple tunes on drums with them when I was in third grade.
Oh, wow. Then
huge. I got paid for the first time in 5th grade. I played with a trio. I was the young guy in the band. I was in 5th grade. Cindy Maher, our accordion player, was actually in 6th grade. And then we had one cool guy who could actually drive to the gigs who was in high school.
Oh, jeez.
So that was our trumpet player. And I don't remember his name.
That helps. Jeez. Hey, also, you've traveled a lot, and we're going to get into that in a couple of questions here. But do you have any favorite places that you have played, Edu?
If I named a few, I would still be short because there's so many great ones. Ludlow, PACC has always been a great one. We played a little bitty bar, the Hitch and Rail, out in the center of Wisconsin, and for the first time there with Crusade as a brand new band, our second weekend as a band, as a matter of fact. The place was so packed. People were standing literally right in front of the bandstand and all the way through the entire bar. Absolutely packed. That was a great place. The old Ocean City, Maryland, the old hall. Man, I used to love playing there.
Yeah.
Springs was fun in the front hall. Back hall was fun too, but, Pulaski days out in Wisconsin, that was a lot of fun. There's so many places. I really hate to cut them short because this past year we played Holy Toledo Days, and the year before we played back in Toledo, Ohio for Taps Picnic, and both those events were stellar. Just
those,
great.
Those were huge. Yeah, we heard there was a great crowd over at Holy Toledo Polka Days, and Joe Zaleski, a feather in his cap for doing that. Again, bringing it back, because, boy, I'll tell you what, the COVID kind of put a damper on a lot of things, not only for 1 year, but pretty close to 2. And I think people just said, okay, enough's enough. If we're going to get it, we're going to get it. But we need to get out and shake hands and not kiss babies or anything, but get out and shake hands or a fist bump or elbow bump or whatever, because we really, really needed that.
Robin, I think you ought to stay away from kissing babies. It's not like the old days. They kind of frown on that this day and age, So.
Oh, is that what that sign is in my front yard? I get it. I get it now. Hey, Edu, you have been to Buffalo. Mr. Andrew Kaczmarski plays drums for you a great deal when you're in this area. And
he's the Crusade drummer now.
Oh, is that right? Oh, permanent.
Yeah, he's permanent. He's in.
That's beautiful. Yeah, well, you got yourself a great drummer. I don't have to tell you that, because I had the honor and pleasure of playing with him with Focus, and we did a bunch of fun stuff throughout the course.
He's a solid drummer, and what I like is that he's come up in that vein of great drummers like Matt Lewandowski. He does all the licks that he did with Crusade and with Kaz, and a guy like you. He takes stuff from you, and you were such a fantastic drummer with the sounds and with the Dynatones. In fact, the first time I met Robin Pegg was at Idora Park.
Oh, wow.
I was playing with Holy Toledo.
That's right.
And you were playing with the Sounds.
Yeah. That was 1978 or 79, I believe.
Has to be 79 or 80.
Okay, yeah, because you're going way back with that. Holy smokes, that was a great place to play, too. I sure missed that. That Conneaut Lake Park, that was a lot of fun. Erie Polka Days. Boy, you're bringing back a lot of great memories now, too, Ed.
Yeah, Rainbow Ballroom and Erie Days. Man, what a huge place. What a great place to play.
It's funny because we've talked to some other musicians in some interviews, and they've agreed that as soon as you walked into that ballroom at Erie Polka Days, you would get nabbed by somebody that'd bring you over to their table, you'd have a drink, and then you'd start to make your way around it. By the time you made it all the way around, you were totally annihilated. Am I correct or not, Edu?
That's absolutely verbatim correct. Absolutely. And the dangerous thing was that Tony Yamkuski ran a very, very strict schedule and very, very bizarre.
Yes.
So you would be on for 37 minutes. And then you'd be off for 6 hours.
Yes.
Now, the last thing you want to do is leave a musician off for 6 hours and ask them to come back up on a place where people are feeding them drinks.
Oh, and
that is not my choice.
The funny thing was that I remember about that, and you hit the nail on the head, Eddie. The number one thing was you would take all of your equipment and set it in the back. Of the stage. Now, it wasn't to the point where you would then just bring it right back around. No, you had to go over to the other side of the stage and carry all that stuff with all the different musicians' instruments and, people coming back there talking to you. It's like, I'm surprised that there wasn't a lot of stuff that ended up in somebody else's trunks of their cars or vans or whatever. And I'm sure it did over the years. Hey, but let's get back to Andy and Buffalo, because you performed in Buffalo not too long ago, had a very nice crowd with Randy, and let's see, who else played? Andy or Randy?
Jimmy Motskevich Jr. on clarinet. He's so well known for his Oriental hula, but also plays damn good trumpet.
Man, he's
fantastic. And then Doug Galuzny, who was the second trumpet player that we had in Crusade. Dave Kish was our very first recording.
Yeah.
And he did about a year and a couple months with us, and then life got it to him, and he had to go to work full time and be to work Monday morning, Poniedziałek rano, 6 o'clock. So it was difficult to get him back on time. So unfortunately we had to part ways, and Doug came in. He's another fantastic trumpet player.
Yeah. Yeah. You've always been surrounded with fantastic musicians. Now, again, I'm bouncing all over the place. When are you back in Buffalo? Because we got a lot of folks here from Buffalo that are listening today and watching. Tell us when you're going to be back in the Buffalo, New York area. Do you know that right offhand? Do you know your schedule?
I don't have the exact date there, but it is November, and I think it's November 12th, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Is that a Saturday night, November 12th?
Let's see here. Let me take a quick peek while I'm
Yeah, you don't
this.
even have your calendar up.
No,
and you're
I
asking
don't.
me about the
I
calendar.
don't. Oh, geez. Hey, well, we had a great time talking with Eddie Biegaj today, so no, hang on. November the 12th is a Saturday. You are correct.
Yay!
Sir.
What do I win?
Let's see. You win a brand new car. And unfortunately, it's going to cost you $10,000 for the year to gas it up. But other than that, hey, that's got to be a little bit trying, too, with you guys traveling as much as you do with all these gas prices and everything. That's got to be a little bit cumbersome.
Well, when you see the gas prices at $4.99, and that's the cheap spot, and I've got a huge E350 extended Ford van with the big 8-cylinder engine. 15, 16 miles to the gallon's the best I can do with that thing. But, it's comfortable, and it's what you need in order to travel with, bare minimum to feel comfortable in the van and try to get the equipment in there and everything, So I'll sweat it out. What the hell?
Yeah, gotcha. Well, hey, I know I'm bouncing around all over the place, but tell us where you got your vocal training, because everybody that sees you perform, and I have a cute little story maybe a little bit later, but everybody that sees you perform, no matter what instrument you're playing, they want to hear you sing. Where did you get your vocal training?
University of Toledo. Professor Tom East, the late Professor Tom East, really made me what I am. I always had a big voice. I sang in church. In 5th grade, they asked me to start cantoring. And my buddy Kevin Sosowski and I actually cantored for a few months. And then we gave that up. And I kept performing. And, it was in college when I was about 22 years old and hooked up with Professor Tom East. I was an adult student at that time. So he really said, we can do something with this. So
I was talking to one of my very, very close friends who's also our mechanic. Jerry's and I mechanic. He's down in Dunkirk, New York. His name is Steve, and he was sharing a story with me. I don't believe he was at this location, but he remembers hearing about it. Now listen to this, and you're going to get a big charge out of this. Somebody who is very, very big into the Polish side of music. Now, not so much polkas, but the true Polish side. He went to hear you perform, and I think it was in Buffalo, as a matter of fact. I don't know the location, but he came to Buffalo, you came to Buffalo, and he took one look at you before you got up on stage and says, this guy with the long hair, I can't believe this. What is this going to be? What did you guys bring me into? Because he thought it was a joke at first. He said, Eddie, that when you sang your first words, your Polish pronunciation was very concise, your voice was huge, and he said after that he became an Eddie Biegaj fan. And I'm just wondering how many other folks are just like that went to see you for the first time and said, okay, because you've always had long hair. Do you have long hair now still?
I gave it up a few years ago when the hairstyles got a little bit shorter in general. So
Gotcha. So you've got the Marine haircut now. Okay, good.
Yeah, not quite. No. Not quite. I still like to spike it up and things like that. Do it a little bit different.
But I'll tell you,
we're musicians. And I one of the things I've always done, with the bands that I've performed with is that, I don't want to look like everybody else out in the crowd. I want to, when we walk out on stage, don't wear something you would wear necessarily to church on Sunday or you would wear anywhere else. Wear something that makes you stand out, because that's what, musicians do. Lord, some of the greatest performers of all time always had some sort of special look or something or, costume changes. So
what type of music, what genre of music, do you listen to when you're not listening to polkas? What's some of your favorites?
Well, I like to listen to a lot of music from Poland, especially some of the little bit older disco polo stuff, but górale stuff I really, really love. Any of the real ethnic stuff. Mm-hmm. But the górale stuff, podhale, if you would, from Zakopane, the violins and, the vocalists. I mean, they're going up and hitting high C like it's nothing. I mean, I gotta practice in order to try to get up to hit high C on a regular basis, and those guys just go up and just nail it. I used to listen to a little bit more heavy metal. I don't do that too much anymore, but occasionally some jazz stuff. So Yeah, I keep my options there, and of course, when I get the chance, some classical and opera as well too.
Now, and I kind of figured that to just by your voice. I figured you were into opera at some point. Now, you've recorded in a lot of different studios with a lot of different bands, and something that we really, really love too is a guy that was always near and dear to my heart was Bud Hadinsky and the Corsairs. And you recorded, you've performed with them. Tell us what it was like to play with that band. You had to have been in your glory.
Well, that was one of those things where I grew up Eastern style. And it was later on that I was introduced to, the Scrubbies of the world and the Dynastics, and those were huge influences. But originally it was Eastern style. And, of course, I love it all. It's not one that I say, oh, that sucks. No, it's all great stuff. And with Bud, I really got to explore going back into my roots, some great Eastern style stuff. And, of course, I was following Matt Wasilewski, who, as good as he was with his own band on vocals, Matt absolutely shined the best with the Bud Hadinsky band. Bud just had him in the right keys and just brought him the right material. Oh, man, it was so much fun hanging out with Bud. I would joust with him quite a bit because, he was not a honky fan. Yeah. And, I would say, those guys are pretty good, And I remember one time we were in the van discussing different things. He says, real musicians read music. And I said, well, Bud, so I'm not a real musician, huh? Well, no. You're a real musician. Okay. Well, I don't read music. Well, how do you know all my arrangements? I said, I've got them all up here in my head. No, you can't. I said, name one. Go ahead, name me a song that you did, and then I'll sing you the riff part, and I'll tell you how the arrangement lays out. And that's just, I can't read music, but I can memorize a heck of a lot of stuff.
Now, that is huge, Eddie, because I never knew that about you. I never knew that you did not read music. Myself, I don't either. Have been self-taught, and you hear me say this, or a lot of people have heard me say this. It is not a talent, and I'm going to tell you, you are not a talented guy. You have a God-given gift that was transferred. It really, I do mean that. And
you're too kind, man.
There's a lot of folks out there that you definitely have to say that they are not talented. They have a true God-given gift to be able to do what they do.
Well, I agree. I think that, anybody who can play by ear, it's a whole different God-given gift. Yeah. And I was really blessed with Crusade because I had guys that not only could, read the charts, but they could also, if I said, go to D, we're going to modulate, they could just follow.
Yeah.
And, and Jimmy Matskevich, Randy Krajewski, those guys just ultra talented. And they did both, I remember sitting down with Jimmy the one time and I said, I really got to learn how to read music. So he says, why? You're 50 years old. What do you need to learn it now for? You've gotten through for 40 some odd years.
How long? Makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I can dabble a little bit and kind of get the idea from the charts, but as far as to sit down and grab an accordion and try to read that chart and play it, I just can't do it.
I mentioned earlier that you've recorded in a lot of different studios. Do you have a favorite studio or a favorite engineer?
Well, I would think most of the polka bands would agree that Peppermint is tops, quite a bit of the tops.
Oh yeah.
This was kind of cool though too. Is that a couple people have got some really nice home studios. I recorded with Bavarsky, Ronnie Oswansky, and he engineered all the vocals at his place. And he just happened to have a foyer that you walked into that was a story and a half, almost 2 stories, and a lot of wood and everything. So it was a beautiful place to record vocals. So he just brought in, my KMS mic and, to hook that up and, went to town there. It was a real nice place. Rick Gosda's got a nice setup over there, and he's got an array of microphones, everything from an RCA pill, the pill style mic.
Yes.
Yeah. The audience may not know what that is, but if you look back on some of the old recordings, the actual microphone looked like one of those pill capsules, only a hell of a lot bigger. And
a lot more expensive, too, I might add. Oh. You needed a second mortgage just to buy one of those babies.
Oh, and it's just crazy to get a Telefunken right now that, was, active and still working from the 1940s. You pay $15,000 to $30,000 for one of those.
Yep. People don't
And they say,
understand that.
yeah, you guys musicians make so much money. No.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
And, we all have that same problem, too, is, it's a sickness with us. We want to buy the next piece of equipment. Something else comes out. I got to have it, and I'm guilty of that, too, man. I like to buy the toys that go along with all the music stuff.
Well, sure. Hey, do you have a favorite band? And this is a loaded question because you've performed with everybody. Do you have a favorite band, Eddie, that you have never performed with or never played with on stage, but you always wanted to?
Oh, that's a tough one there, because I have been lucky that I have been able to sing with so many of the different bands over the years.
Oh yeah.
I would say the Dynatones. I never got a chance to sing actually with the Dynatones on stage. I think that would be.
I think you and Scrubby would have been a trip. I wish that you did have that opportunity, because that would have been.
On the other hand, we have had Scrubby up on stage with us a couple of times in Buffalo, as a matter of fact. So I got to tell you this one story, going off target just a little bit here, but as long as we're talking Scrubby.
Please.
And this is we were in one of the resorts out there in the Catskill Mountains. We had played at one of the places, and on the same weekend, Jimmy Sturr was running his event. So after we were done performing, we went over to see the Dynatones performing for Sturr. And they just finished their set, and, Scrubby's at the bar. We're drinking with Scrubby and everything, and all of a sudden, Jimmy calls Scrubby up to sing Zusha. Go figure, Zusha, right? Scrubby leans over to me, and he says, "Oh, good. Now I got to sing at 78 speed."
Priceless.
I told Sturr that story, and I think he almost wet himself laughing.
Oh, that's priceless. That really is good. Yeah, Scrubby too had a tremendous fortune to him with his voice, with his personality, with his playing ability, just entertaining the crowds just like you have done. Hey, do you know the largest crowd that you ever performed for? You mentioned something about Ocean City.
Ocean City would have been one of the larger ones, but now if I have to think this was just people there for the music, I would probably have to go back to high school when I was performing with the Troubadours, and we played in Michigan City, Indiana, and they set all new records for attendance at the St. Joe Club Festival, which was in their parking lot, and there was over 5,000 people just in the area for the band. And I think they had 15 or 20,000 people, all told. But just for the area of the band, just listening to the band and checking us out, they estimated somewhere around 5,000 people, And that wasn't necessarily all that uncommon if you go back to the 60s, where you've got Louis bringing in that kind of crowd.
Oh, yeah.
On a regular basis. Wojnarowski, they're telling me Wojnarowski played a couple times up in Detroit up at the old Warsaw Park. And, they're talking about 4,000 people there for Wojnarowski. One band.
Jeez. Unreal.
Yeah, and they were paying to get in. It wasn't like it was a free festival.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, those are gone too, unfortunately. Hey, who did you idolize growing up? Whether it was in polkas or another genre of music, who did you idolize, Eddie?
Well, Happy Louie first.
Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I started out as a young kid being a Bernie Witkowski fan and Frank Wojnarowski, a little bit of the Connecticut Twins back then. And then my dad said, "We're going to go see Happy Louie." And who's Happy Louie? I was all of 10 years old. I like Bernie Witkowski. I went out, with my parents. They sold tickets in 2 weeks. There were scalpers outside of the place in Toledo that had the event. And there was like over 2,000 tickets sold for that. And it was completely sold out. Scalpers out there and the whole 9 yards. And after the first set, Louis was selling albums, and I walked up there and I shook his hand as a 10-year-old, and I said, "Mr. Louis, my favorite band used to be Bernie Witkowski and the Connecticut Twins. Now you're my favorite band."
Oh.
And he doesn't remember that. I'm sure there was a lot of kids that did that over the years, but we became very, very good friends over the years while we traveled and did different gigs with him. That's my number one, but I mean, I took a lot from Solek, Scrubby, The Naturals, one of my absolute favorite bands.
Oh, yeah.
There's Canadian Fiddlesticks. Oh my God, what a group! What a group!
Yes, I agree with that.
And then something that kind of gets me too is you played with a band called the Trelltones.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, man, in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s, they were the premier honky style band. Oh my God, what a great group! Man.
I had a very successful career playing trumpet with Andy and Steve and the gang, and I got a lot of experience, with the honky side of things. I mean, I grew up and, not telling any stories out of school, getting back to Louis, the very first record album that I went out and bought. My grandmother, of course, gave me the money to do so because I was only 12 years old at the time, 11, 12 years old at the time. Very first album I bought was the Love and Peace album.
Oh, Love and Peace. Okay. I was waiting for you to say Yak Shamash.
No, never knew what it was. I got it home. I put it on the turntable, and just to hear Love and Peace with the da 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 da, I'm like, oh my God, I'm falling in love with this. So I pulled the trumpet out. I started playing to it, and it took me a little while to learn it by ear, but man, that was a very memorable album, and the very first one that I ever opened, that I cracked open out of the seal. Hey, but getting back to you and with everything, and I'm sorry that I got off on a tangent, but go ahead and fill us in a little bit more. Or what I want to do is I don't want to rush you, but I know that you want to enjoy some of the crowd there too. I know that you just came off the stage to jump on the phone with us.
That's all right. John Stevens is taking care of the crowd now. I'll
Beautiful.
talk to you.
Beautiful. Hey, do you have a favorite song that you like to play or sing when you're on stage?
Wow. No, there's just so many that I love to sing over the years.
Yeah.
Everything that dates back to, Red Berries with my arrangement from TPM, to Party Time with Crusade.
Oh, yeah.
Solo Mio I enjoy doing. I really, really enjoy doing Ave Maria. The Bakuno. The Schubert's easy.
Mm-hmm.
The Bakuno is much more challenging, and I enjoy doing that. The Lord's Prayer. Albert Hay Malat. His middle name is Hay. Hay.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Malat Lord's Prayer. Those are Yado Lasu. I just recorded with Heroes a couple years ago, back in 2019. Yado Lasu Nyepoyade. That one has become a real big favorite too.
Did you ever imagine in your wildest dreams, Edu, that your music and your gift would have taken you to as far as it has, and you're continuing that journey down the road? Would you ever have dreamed that in your wildest dreams? Ever?
Well, my dream was to be the next Happy Louie. So unfortunately, the crowds aren't there anymore for that. Yeah. So I mean, I've expanded my horizons, and I love to sing at church. So yes. I don't know. I guess my expectations for where I wanted to be in my wildest dreams were actually above where we ended up landing, because the crowd just isn't there anymore, unfortunately.
No, that's true. And you have sung a lot for weddings, also for funerals. We know for a fact, and you probably get a lot of requests to do the same.
Because through the years we were always performing on Saturdays and Sundays and Fridays, it was difficult to sing at weddings. So I sang at more funerals than I sang at weddings, and I sang a lot of funerals. And people say, well, isn't that really, really sad and down? I say, no, I'm sending them off to the good Lord above.
Yeah.
I'm making not only them happy in heaven, but I'm also making the family remember some really, really good things. So songs like Serdeczne Matko and some of the other Polish hymns that come to mind, those are things that really, I enjoy doing those. And if it makes those people a little bit closer to the Lord, then I've really, really shared my gift, and I've really done my job as a musician.
A classy statement. That is for certain. A very, very classy statement. Where did you grow up, Eddie? Were you always from the Toledo, Ohio area?
Born and raised in Toledo, Ohio, and I didn't move out of Toledo till 2007 when I moved out to Jersey for 15 years. And then I just bought a house out here in Gurmansville, Pennsylvania, which is only about an hour and 15 minutes away from where I used to live in Jersey. But moved out to Jersey for a job and a girlfriend, and neither of which still exist in my life at this point. So,
and that's totally understandable. And you are not alone with that either, pal. Hey, a day job. You mentioned that you were working a third shift. Are you able to divulge or acknowledge what you do for a living, or would you rather not at this point in time?
Well, it's highly secretive, and I'd have to kill you if I told you.
I know exactly what you're speaking of. I'm in the same boat, and nobody knows what I do, where I do it. Period.
No, Robin, I'll be totally honest. I started off when COVID hit. I lost my ability to substitute teach. I couldn't coach volleyball anymore, and all the gigs were gone. So all of my sources of income were out the door. So I started driving forklift at a warehouse, and they noticed that I had a little bit more intelligence than the average Joe. So I got moved into a lead position, and now I'm a supervisor at one of the warehouses out here in Lehigh Valley.
That is beautiful. But again, you're stuck on the third shift, which is 11 or midnight until 7 or 8 a.m.?
Well,
how do they do it?
This is the problem with our third shift. We only have two shifts. They call it day shift and night shift. So I go in at 5 o'clock, and I'm always there a half hour beforehand, and then I don't get out till 5 in the morning, sometimes as late as 6. The other day I was hanging drywall with my son, and at the new place, and went into work after getting 5 hours of sleep, and then they said when I got in, guess what? You guys are staying till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So 26 or 27 hours later, I finally got to bed.
Hey, back when you were in your teens and early 20s, you were able to do that and stay up. Nowadays, that's difficult. It's bedtime for Bonzo, for me and Jerry. Whenever it hits 7:30, 8 o'clock, we're looking at each other. Well, we got to get up tomorrow to go to work. Why don't we just hit the hay? And that's usually what we do. It's sad to say, but as you get older, you do get to sleep earlier. But then again, you're an earlier riser than you used to be.
Sure. Okay. Okay. We'll run with that statement there.
At least
my doctor just yelled at me. I got a brand new doctor now that I moved out here, and he said, "You're getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep a night. What part of this are you worried about that you're fatigued? Of course you're fatigued. Go to bed." It's like, I can't. You got too much to do.
Yeah, and your mind's constantly going anyhow.
Yeah.
That's a kicker,
I
too.
know. I came home from our gig last night with RBO. I had a 2-hour drive to get back home, a little over. Got home at like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I knew I had to record some of the shows for this weekend. So sat down, and here we are, 3:30 in the morning, and I said, we just got a whole bunch of new commercials in. I better burn a CD for that. So now it's 4:30, and I got to get up at 10 o'clock to go to the gig here today. So
hey, tell us, you have been very successful on the PolkaJammerNetwork.org with the Bad Boy Show. Tell us a little bit about what got you started in DJing and IJing.
Well, I had done a little DJing type stuff just at some of the weddings that we would perform at, and we did very, very few weddings with Crusade. That wasn't our thing, but I would DJ a little bit on the side. And after I moved out here, I'd gotten out of polka music completely, except for singing at church.
Okay.
Kind of stepped out and retired for about a year and a half, and Chainsaw gave me a call and said, "We'd really like to have you think about doing a show on the Jammer." So I thought about it and finally weaseled things out to get enough of a computer thing together and started doing a show, and a couple of years later ended up going live. And man, I really love doing the live shows.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. Now I'm also on threeriversbroadcasting.com on Saturdays at 2 and a rerun at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
So, yeah. So in about an hour from now, I'll be back on the air again. But that's a recorded show.
Gotcha. And we do listen to the show periodically. I know Jackie Libera jumped in and pinched hit for you this past week.
Oh, yeah. With everything I had to do the last week. I sent Jackie a text. I just said help.
And of course, Jackie opens up his shirt and there's that big S on there that, he's the Superman. He jumps in and bails everybody out. So that's pretty good too. But I think he's retired now, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's the tough thing because I go on at 4 o'clock now. So, Chainsaw used to help me out from time to time, but he's working now, so he can't get on at 4 o'clock. And when I had the 6 to 8 o'clock time slot, it was a little easier. But now with the job, I can't do 6 to 8. So
sure, understandable. Hey, Edu, I told you it's going to be 5:30 to 6. We're looking at 2 minutes past. Can I keep you on for maybe about 4 more minutes? Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay, I want to know, what is your latest recording, and do you have anything in the mix that you're going to be coming out with?
Well, the latest recording that I did was with Rick Gazda, and I did one with RBO. So those two just came out last year. Currently, I'm working on another project with RBO that will be out for this year, and I'm working on getting Heroes back into the recording studio for next year, as well as Crusade. I'm hoping both bands can actually record for 2023 and have that out sometime. It's difficult, as you know, trying to get everybody together. And, although you can record at different studios and do things like that, you still have to have a couple rehearsals to get the band tight.
Oh, sure. Sure.
And it just bounce ideas around because, especially with Crusade, we come in with, kind of blank slates. Got a sketch. I'll say that. It's kind of like a pencil sketch of a song. And then by the time we're done with the rehearsal session, it's rare that Randy will come down with an entire piece that he's ready to roll right there. He's always looking for more input, something new, some different little twist here or there. What can we do rhythmically? And so it takes time in order to develop those things.
I just have 3 more questions here. How did the band Crusade get their name? Who named the band? And how did you how did you come up with it?
Always been a fan of, medieval and old times, a Renaissance era thing. And so favorite color, purple, it all worked in together with that whole thing with, then too, it's, kind of a little bit of a religious overtone to it. And, that set well with me as well, too.
Yeah. And you mentioned the color purple. Do you still drive around in a purple van like you used to?
I have another Ford van that's the same size without the diesel engine. Unfortunately, I waited too long to put the other Ford purple van back on the road, and the frame was starting to rust out. So,
gotcha.
So I sold it, and it immediately, who I sold it to somebody else for the engine.
Wow.
It's a diesel. It only had a little over 500,000 miles on it. So, that's those old 77.3 diesel engines for Ford. It's an international engine, basically. And those things will go 900,000 miles. They rebuild them and then put them back on the road again.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Diesel engines will go forever because you don't have the same sort of combustion that you have with a gasoline engine.
That's interesting.
So, yeah.
I remember catching you guys in the wintertime. You were playing a gig, and correct me if I'm wrong, did you or did you not leave that vehicle running while you guys were playing?
During the summer, we definitely left it running while we were playing.
But I mean, in the wintertime, I remember something like that.
If it's really, really cold, yes, because diesel will start to gel at about 17 degrees. So between 16 and 17, you got to watch out. And even if you have the anti-gel stuff in there, you kind of got to watch and make sure that fuel line, it's not the tank that's going to freeze so much or gel, it's the fuel lines. So that's why we kept that running. And those things are so efficient. I remember we were out at Pillar Polka the one year, and it was 93 degrees the time we started at like 12 noon.
Okay.
We let that van run all afternoon. I mean, we're talking about 6 or 7 hours. It ran. I take it back. With it set up and tear down, it was at least 8 hours. We were playing next to the G-Notes, by the way. A little side note for the Buffalo fans out there.
There you go.
And I don't think we burnt the 16th of a tank of fuel, which boils down to about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 gallons.
Oh, wow.
While it sat there idled.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty decent, too. Now, I also want to complete. I've got 2 more questions. This one, This one I love asking everybody. You've traveled so much. Do you have a favorite breakdown story? Or maybe 1 or 2 that you can share with the folks here?
One comes to mind right away. It was early days of Fiddle Polka Motion, and Frankie Domchik was still playing drums, and Joe Zaleski was on bass at that point in time. And I had another Ford van at that time that was a conversion van. It had a small auxiliary tank that held 10 gallons, and then the big tank held 22 gallons or something like that.
Okay.
And we were out there on the road for one of the first times, and I said, well, let's just see how this whole thing works over here. Let's see how far we can get. So I ran the main tank down to under a quarter of a tank, and then flipped over to the auxiliary tank. I don't know, another 100. It was well over 100 miles later. All of a sudden, we ran out of gas. Couldn't get the thing started. What the hell's going on here? So we're alongside the road, and some guy pulls up, just out of the blue, and says, "You guys broke down. What's the problem?" He says, "We can't get it's not starting." I told him what was going on. He says, "I'll bet you what it is underneath the switch that goes between the auxiliary tank and the main tank has been rusted, and it's not moving."
Oh.
And that's exactly what it was. So this guy crawls underneath there, and he says, what I'll do is I'm going to replace the hose from the auxiliary tank to the main tank, and the main tank hose into the auxiliary tank. You'll have at least 15 gallons of fuel to use, or 10 gallons, whatever was in that tank, until you guys got to refill it. But then you guys will have to get that switched back eventually so you can run off the main tank.
Okay.
But I need a cup or something that I can put a little bit of gasoline in so we could pour it into the carburetor. That's how old this is, all right?
So like
back when we had carburetors. Yeah, you got to prime the system, okay?
Yeah.
So Frankie Domchik comes running around over there and hands him a cup and says, "Here you go." The guy, not watching anything that he has, pours the gasoline into the cup, and it immediately evaporates right there and spills all over the place.
Really?
Lesson learned. Styrofoam does not hold gasoline. Gasoline.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, my gosh. I think
Our
that's the best story so far.
With the foam cup. We've got 100 different cups in there that are, plastic and paper, and he gives them the foam one.
And the bottom just falls out and starts eating. Oh, that's
it
classic.
Wasn't the bottom. I mean, Robin, it was the whole second bottom of the cup. I mean, everything halfway up the cup was just evaporates, just gone.
That's priceless. Now, also, I'm going to jog your memory, and I hope I do. You played at St. Stan's in Niagara Falls, New York. Huge crowd. They used to run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday up there in the falls. And I forget if you were there on a Saturday or a Sunday, but anyhow, you guys had headed back home, and apparently you had some issues down in Silver Creek. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to remember which one that was, because we had a couple issues coming out of Buffalo.
Okay.
One time we, the alternator went, and we stayed with our friends over there in Dunkirk for the rest of the night.
Okay.
And got their buddy to help us out over there, and got the thing, got us a new alternator for the vehicle. And the other time, it was the diesel engine. It was great off the get-go. I should say that the tank was great off the get-go. It's a 36-gallon tank that those Ford used to have. And Jimmy had timed it out. Instead of looking at the gauge, he would say, we're going to travel for 8 hours. That's how long the tank will last.
Okay.
There's 8 hours drive time. I said, Jimmy, don't do it. When it gets down to quarter tank, go ahead and fill it up. No, we're fine. We're fine. We've only got 6.5, 7 hours at the absolute most. We're fine. We come pulling out of there, and we're not 20 minutes out of the gig, and the thing shuts down. And I'm like, we're out of fuel. It's not drawn off that. And I still don't know what it was, why it wouldn't draw off that last. And sometimes it'd be right at the quarter mark. Sometimes it'd be all the way down at almost nothing, 16th of a tank or less, 1/8 of a tank. It was crazy the way that would act like that. But that day it just shut down. And we're trying to call Matt Lewandowski, and he's got his phone off. This is the old days when you actually had a answering machine at home.
Yep.
And he's got the phone off, and the message machine turned all the way down. So we're leaving message after message after message, and he's got the thing all the way down. We can't get him. We finally ended up getting a hold of somebody from AAA, and they came out and brought us 5 gallons of diesel fuel. Which today 5 gallons of diesel fuel at $50 is not uncommonly heard. That's about the going price anymore, unfortunately. But back then, that was a bit of a tough pill to swallow. And I had AAA. It wasn't like like I was just a stranger in the night and somebody came out and helped us. So
wow,
man.
And our final question of the interview, and again, thank you so much for doing this for Jerry and I on Polkas After Dark. I don't know if
Robin and Jerry, thank you guys for having me. I can't say thank you enough. I'm honored to be on the show, and a great thank you for having me.
Well, we are honored and blessed to have you here, and it's been a pleasure. My final question to you is, what would Eddie Biegaj say to someone that just wants to get started in music? Now, it can be any genre whatsoever. They might want to be a front man, a side man, whatever, just play an instrument and just be like in the lurks there. What would Eddie tell this individual?
Learn to two things. First off, learn to both read music as well as learn to play by ear. I think having that as a double threat is the best thing I could teach any musician, is to be able to do both. The second thing is kind of like I told my kids when it came to sports, is it's fine to have sports as you dream. And the same thing with music. It's fine to have music as you dream. And if you make it absolutely great, but have a fallback plan, because for the few people that can make it huge in the music industry, and the same thing with sports, there's very, very few who make it huge. And have a fallback plan. If you make it great, you've success beyond all belief. But if not, have that backup plan. And all 3 kids had a backup plan. They went pretty far in sports, but there was that point where they said, it's time to step away from the game.
Sure.
And the same thing with music. You may have to play in a local band, or play in something that does just some touring every once in a while.
Sure.
But have a backup plan. Go to school.
You can't make it without the
trade.
schooling. Yeah, you can't make it without the schooling, that's for sure. And if you take a look around now, a lot of the trades are suffering today. When's the last time you talked to a young man, or a young lady even, that is into welding or electrical, being an electrician? It's very rare to come by nowadays. So I totally agree with you 100% there.
Well, one of my assignments for substitute teaching was at the local tech school. So, I was dealing with everybody from electricians. They didn't have plumbing, but carpentry. And I was very, very fortunate, because my background in music led me into being able to substitute teach for the teacher who was out on maternity leave twice. And I got to do radio and TV.
Oh, man, that's priceless, too.
Yeah. And, like they said, the students that they got from me, something that their teacher couldn't give them. She was actually on the Imus show, the Imus show from New York City.
Okay, yeah.
She was one of the camera people for them. And so she had an experience that these kids would never, ever get any place else. And then she said, but you bring into us this whole thing about music and microphones and mixing boards. And she says, I know almost nothing about that stuff. I know everything about a camera that you need to know, and then some. It's just you bring something special. So I would do special classes once a year, and I'd bring in every microphone I owned and borrow some from my musician friends. And Ronnie Oswansky, who runs his own microphone company, I got to take in microphones that were never released. These were, the what do you call them?
The prototypes or the betas or whatever?
Yes, the prototype of the microphone. And I would take that into class and say, okay, this was supposed to replace those green bullet microphones that the harmonica players like to use, in the jazz bands. And it was so much better than what the old green bullets were, but nobody wanted it because they wanted that sound of the green bullet. So they never released the mic.
Holy smokes. That's amazing.
So, and there was a number of microphones that I took in, and it was kind of fun. As I'd pass a microphone around, and I'd say, "Oh, by the way, that one that you have right there in your hands, that's a $1,400 microphone, and that one over there, that one to buy right now is about $10,000." So they got to see some real special things, and I was glad to share that knowledge with the kids.
That's beautiful. Hey, Edu, once again, God bless you. I hope your travels take you everywhere you want to go and you arrive there safely to your destinations, including home tonight when you decide to head home. But thank you once again. Jerry and I thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us tonight, taking 45 minutes out of your day, a little more than that. But we thank you so, so much. And our paths will cross, if not someplace down the Polka Highway. We're going to try to make it out to the Potts Banquet Hall. I think that's where you're going to be performing in November on the 12th.
Yeah, November 12th, yes, in Potts Banquet Hall right there in Buffalo. Going to have a very, very good time. Looking forward to a nice, big, packed house in Buffalo.
And please, if you would like to send us any advertisements, please do so. Or even if you want to send us some of your schedule via your voice, by all means, please do that. Because we love promoting the polka bands and the all the places that are running dances here, whether it's local or out of town or wherever, because we have a very wide listening and viewing audience, which we have been very successful, Jerry and I, since the pandemic. We kind of started this just on a whim, and it's been going pretty well for us.
Excellent. Thank you so very, very much, Robin. And Jerry, we didn't get a chance to talk very much, but thank you both so very much, and God bless you both. And may you guys be able to promote polkas for another 100 years.
All right.
God bless you, Eddie. Take care.
Hey, thanks, buddy. We'll see you.
All right. Do zobaczenia.
Hey, so that was Mr. Eddie Biegaj live right here on Polkas After Dark. If you guys want to catch the whole thing in its entirety, it's going to be available not only on Facebook, but it will be forever embedded into YouTube. Just go into YouTube, and you don't have to subscribe, but we'd love for you to do so. And just go in and type in Eddie Biegaj interview.
Ludzie tu w Chicago koneczkiem tańcują I po wszystkich balach wesoło śpiewają. Piosenki wesołe się im podobają I wesołe życie ludzie tutaj mają. Piosenki wesołe się im podobają I wesołe życie ludzie tutaj mają. Przyjdzie sobota, wieczorem cię bije, chłopaki na salach, wypią sobie pije, hulają głośliwie, muzyka nagrywa, całą noc nadziei, ludziom się odbiła. Hulają głośliwie, muzyka nagrywa, całą noc nadziei, ludziom się odbiła.
Hey, that's a little bit of Crusade and The Choice, one called Life in Chicago. Hey, you folks are tuned to Polkas After Dark right here on our broadcast link.
With a C.
.com, also on
Facebook
and
YouTube.
Yeah, don't forget, you can catch the YouTube videos at your leisure, and also any of the interviews and the shows that we have done, because they have been up there now, gosh, I want to say about 7 months already. The time is really, really going by quickly. And once again, all of those pictures that you saw, thank you, Mr. Les Kapuscinski up in Canada. He is just a lifesaver and a godsend to us. He shares his talent with us too, and we just love that. Hey, let's you know what? Before we jump into something else, let's bring up Mr. Biegaj to do a song called "In the Woods." Obetic. Yes, sir, Mr. Pichacho, I am indeed drinking coffee right now, and I usually do that on Saturday nights as well. Hey, folks, just a reminder, you can join us on Saturday evenings, too, right here, Polkas After Dark, and that is from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and then don't forget our Sunday broadcasts. Now, also, we do want to remind you that next weekend, we are not going to be here. We are not going to be live.
Aww.
We actually have something else that we are doing.
Aww.
Yeah. But we will be back the following week. So there is no interview for next weekend. But the following weekend, let me bring this up. And the following weekend, we are blessed to be talking with Lenny Lungoski from the Style Sticks out there in Michigan. He joins us on June the 26th. Ron Richkowski steps into the limelight here, and he's going to be joining us on July the 3rd. Mr. Trojak, Mr. Dynatone himself, Larry Trojak, is going to be joining us July the 10th. Jimmy Richkowski, which is no relation to Ron Richkowski, he's going to be joining us from the New Direction Band, and that is on July the 17th. And then, of course, no show for the Sunday, but we will be doing a show on July the 23rd, and that is the Saturday night from 9 to 11 p.m. However, on Sunday, we're going to be, where, Jerry? Where are we going? Where are we going to be?
The Buffalo Polka Booster Picnic. We're going to a picnic. We're going to a picnic. Ladybug Picnic. No. Polka Booster Picnic.
Polka Booster Picnic, yes. Hey, July the 31st, we are still looking to fill that slot. That's going to be announced. And then Chris Ebel joins us on August the 7th. Concertina player extraordinaire. He plays a bunch of different instruments as well with the Diversico Band. And also, he's been performing quite a bit with the Polka Family Band. And you heard us talking about Hank and some of the great things that they are doing for polka music. Hank has gotten a whole bunch of young blood, young polka talent into the industry, which is great. Kind of like our friends Mike Costa and Stevie Hayest with the Beat. They are definitely kicking some butt, so to speak, with the Beat 3.0. And Jerry, do you want to make mention about some of the folks here in our chat rooms, if you wouldn't mind?
We have Alice Fischler and Chris Curtis, Donna Zielinski hanging out with Teresa and Sarah. We have Franny Russo with us, Ivan Mayers, and Les and Alice Kapushchinsky. And Scotch and Donna are over there in the chat room waiting for people to talk to them over there in YouTube land.
Okay, well, and we want to thank Scotch for joining us a couple of weeks back. We had a lot of fun talking with him and reminiscing. And again, folks, if you missed any of these interviews, you can catch them on Polkas After Dark. Just type that in once you get to youtube.com. Type in Polkas After Dark, and you can type in the word interview if you're just interested in checking out the interview programs that we have. Hey, we've got, let's see, what time is it? It is 32 minutes, 32 minutes here before we say dobranoc for the week. And again, please make sure that you mention to your friends there is no broadcast next weekend, Saturday or Sunday, because Jerry and I are going to be involved with something. But here is a song coming up for you by the Polka Country Musicians. Here's one called the Merry-Go-Round Polka. And a pleasant good evening to Ms. Kathleen Juba. She is here along with, Pichacho. He's here. Georgia Rizzo, good afternoon to you, my dear.
Agrimieczy zgubił korki, a nie gizel blały. Agrimieczy zgubił
Coming this October to Polkas After Dark, a series titled A Walk Through Polka Heaven. This multi-part series features music from loved ones no longer with us. Their music will live on forever in our hearts and over the airwaves. You'll hear stories from family members and musicians who performed alongside them. A Walk Through Polka Heaven. Watch it only on Polkas After Dark.
Hi, this is Richie Dombrowski of the Polka Country Musicians, inviting you to join us for the 7th annual Ocean Beach Park Polka Days, taking place at beautiful, sunny Ocean Beach Park in New London, Connecticut, June 22nd to June 25th, 2022. Yours truly, the Polka Country Musicians, will once again be your host band as we bring you some of the nation's finest polka bands. This year, joining us at Ocean Beach will be the Boys, Polka Family Band, John Gurat and Gurate, Matt's All-Stars, the Dynabrass, the Newtones, Eddie Foreman Orchestra, the Beat, the Maestro's Men, Lenny Gomolka and Chicago Push, the Energy Reunion, and of course, yours truly, the Polka Country Musicians. We'll get this party started once again on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. on the boardwalk with PCM, and music will continue Thursday through Saturday in the Picnic Pavilion during the day and in the ballroom all evening long. For tickets, hotel info, and questions or additional information, please visit our website at www.oceanbeachparkpolkadays.com and follow us on Facebook at Ocean Beach Park Polka Days. It's going to be a great time at Ocean Beach Park Polka Days 2022, and we're excited to be back. You don't want to miss it. We hope to see you all at the beach.
Don't forget to join the beat Saturday, August 27th, 2022
at the Holy Spirit Party Center, 5500 West 54th Street in Parma, Ohio, 44129.
Doors open at 5 p.m., music and dancing from 6 until 10.
Only $16 admission and 16 and under are free.
For more information and table reservations, contact Jill Cerniak at
440-319-1877.
Or you can email Jill at jmczdances@gmail.com.
See you there.
Make plans now to attend the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Enjoy 3 fun-filled days, including a welcome party, the prestigious Hall of Fame and Music Awards banquet, pool parties, election of officers and directors, performances by Hall of Famers, and polka entertainment featuring some of the nation's top polka bands, featuring Lenny Gomolka and Chicago Push, the Dynabrass, the Buffalo Concertina All-Stars, the Jack Taddy Band, the IPA Tribute Band, Michael Costa and the Beat, Lansnick and Friends, John Gura and Gurale, the Polka Country Musicians, New Generation, 7, the Boys, Cosmics, and the Newtones. Get all the details on room reservations and more by visiting the IPA online on Facebook and at IPAPolkas.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual International Polka Association's Convention and Festival, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through the 4th, at the Pittsburgh Cranberry Hilton Doubletree Hotel in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Get all the details at IPAPolkas.com.
Hey, Mark, why don't you tell them a little bit about the kickoff dance?
Labor Day weekend brings another annual IPA convention and festival, and Thursday, September 1st, is the kickoff of the big weekend with Western Pennsylvania's hottest polka band, the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. A cash bar will be available for your favorite beverages, so no BYOB. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725. That's 412-260-9725, or email Chris at bogdanfamily.com. That's Chris at BOGDON family.com. Don't miss the 54th Annual IPA Convention Kickoff Party with the Mon Valley Push. 7 p.m. on Thursday, September the 1st at the Cranberry Elks Lodge, 20720 Route 19, Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. For tickets, table reservations, and details, contact Chris Bogdan at 412-260-9725.
Hey, that's going to be a great weekend, too. That's the IPA, the International Polka Association Convention and Festival. Jerry and I will be there with bells on, and we are going to have a lot of fun. I think that Linda P. and Carolyn and also little 12-year-old Jenny, she'll be going with us, too. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun. Hey, here's one for Chris Tansky and all of the Buffalo Polka Boosters. Don't forget to join us at their festivities. That's the 52nd annual picnic coming up July the 24th. Here's the new brass.
They're always in the way. Oh, what she got a lot. They're always in the way. I take my girl out riding in my Chevrolet. And when I go to hold her tight, they're always in the way. They're always in the way. They're always in the way. Oh, what she got a lot. They're always in the way. I take my girl out dining to a cabaret. And when I go to hold her tight, they're always in the way. They're always in the way. They're always in the way. Oh, what she got a lot. They're always in the way. Always in the way. I take my girl out walking, the stars are in the sky. And when I go to kiss her, they hit me in the eye. They're always in the way. They're always in the way. Oh, what she got a lot. They're always in the way. Now say some girls got a little. Now some girls don't have none. But my girl, she got plenty, enough for everyone. They're always in the way. They're always in the way. Oh, what she got a lot. They're always in the way.
Hey, that's the new brass off of a live recording, believe it or not. Always in the Way polka. That's definitely a must play. Hey guys, gals, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We've got about, 18 more minutes before we call it quits here for Polkas After Dark. Once again, please make sure, note on your calendar, no Polkas After Dark this coming Saturday or Sunday, as Jerry and I have a previous engagement. But let's go ahead and bring up DVSTA, the Dinah versus Sticktonaires. Sticktonaires. Dinah versus Sticktonaires. That's the name of the band. Hey, that'd make a nice t-shirt, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
Yeah. Aaron should be receiving his real soon. We mailed that out yesterday, and along with Wayne in Ohio, he requested a Polish eagle, just the eagle. So we sent that out. Hello to Mary Lou Cerniak. Here's DVSTA. Here's a song called Mary's Wedding Polka.
Piątek się zbierała, szątek i czerwone, Marysia zbierała, Janek się weselny, dobrze cię chowała. Ho zabierze pod kościołek mały, dzwonki będą dzwonić, dzwonki będą grali, oczy pod kozłowiem handel prowadzą, ci małym ortarzy Marysia oddadzą. Roczek zadba, Marysiu kochana, będzie przyglądała, białe do goszana. Ziemieć się ci córkę, zmuszą jak balina, a jak som doproši, počina posiraš.
Hey, that's the Dinah versus Sticktonaires. Dinah versus Sticktonaires, 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 Dinah versus Sticktonaires. That's the name of the band. Hey! Uh-oh, who just dinged? Was that you? You were dinging? You're dinging. Oh, well, don't be dinging this time of night. No. Hey, how about, let's see here. You know what would be a good song? How about I Can't Believe It's True? And we will play this song by... I gotta stop this one here. And let's bring this up by Bruno Mikos.
When I'm with you in the moonlight and I hold you in my arms, I can't believe what's happening to me. My heart is beating faster, blood pressure's on the rise. I can see that look of love, it's in your eyes. And when I hold you tight, just the way I did last night, and you say you hate to go, I just have to let you know that I am nuts about you, baby, and I hope you love me too, 'cause I just can't believe it's true. When I'm with you in the moonlight and I hold you in my arms, I can't believe what's happening to me. My heart is beating faster, blood pressure's on the rise. I can see that look of love, it's in your eyes. And when I hold you tight, just the way I did last night, and you say you hate to go, I just have to let you know that I am nuts about you, baby, and I hope you love me too, 'cause I just can't believe it's true.
Hey, here's the one and only Michael Costa and the Beat 3.0. We're going to bring them up to do a tune off of their brand new release, which is called The Greatest Hits and the Misses. Here's one called The Flame off of one of the earlier recordings. This song written by Mr. Michael Costa.
Love has taken my name. You're the one who always felt the same. As I stand here next to you, somehow I knew you'd always love me too. Today we walk the aisle.
everybody's talking about. Polkas After Dark.
Love has taken my name, and my life will never be the same. As I look into your eyes, I see that love light burning deep inside. For this I know is true. I will always be in love with you, and forever we will shine that light of love to guide our way. Because life is a journey traveled hand in hand. Listen to each other, try and understand that each day is a gift, and love provides a lift from above with the one you love. Love can conquer all. Take away the fear as we stand tall. There's so many things to do, none of which would be there without you. A life that's filled with joy, and there's love that no one can destroy. 'Cause your love will always be the flame that burns inside of me. And forever we will walk through life in love, hand in hand.
For your safety, pull down on the shoulder restraint until it locks in place. Keep your head against the headrest and remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside.
Here's Billy on the concertina along with Jerry. Here's one called the Roller Coaster Polka. Hey, a little bit of the roller coaster polka. Yep, that's Jerry Lasosny and Billy Czerniak on the concertinas. Thanks again, Les Kapuściński, for everything you do, including... sorry, I'm pointing the wrong way. See that right there? That's his signature. That is a beautiful picture that he had taken, probably in his backyard. Hey, Mr. Danny Roy is here. Also, once again, we want to say dobranoc to everybody. Don't forget, no shows next weekend.
Czuję się bardzo smutny, jak wszystko dla mnie idzie źle. Wezmę se nowe buty i na zabawę się idę. Tam ludzie są wesoły i muzyka tak pięknie gra. Bracimy ma nic na tym świecie, jak muzyka i dziewczyna. Tutaj jest wesoło, bo muzyka tak ładnie gra. I jeszcze do tego moja dziewczyna taka wesoła. Rączkami se wywija, razem śpiewajmy tra-la-la. Bracie mi ma nie na tym świecie, jak muzyka i dziewczyna.
Hey folks, once again, thanks so much for joining us here on Polkas After Dark on our broadcast link
with a C.com,
also on
YouTube
and Facebook. Hey, don't forget, no show next week. We keep stressing that because you guys, somebody's going to log in and say, where's Robin and Jerry? They're not on tonight. I hope everything is doing okay. Hey, we're going to end this segment out here for Polkas After Dark this Sunday afternoon. Once again, thanks to Mr. Eddie Biegaj for making it a memorable interview this evening. Here's Life Without Polkas, Jay-Z.
Stop to think what polka music means to folks like you and me. A weekend polka dance, there's no place I'd rather be. Just think of all the good times you have shared with your friends. If you're like me, you'll hope those good times never end. I'd hate to see what life would be like without polkas. The music that I've always loved, it means so much to me. I'd hate to see how life would be for polka fans like you and me. I'd hate to see what life would be like without polkas.
Would you have met your guy? Would I have met my girl? Would you and I have ever met outside this polka world? Polkas bring togetherness to friends and family. Without polkas, think how different life would be. I'd hate to see what life would be like without polkas. The music that I've always loved, it means so much to me. I'd hate to see how life would be for polka fans like you and me. I'd hate to see what life would be like without polkas.
Hey folks, once again, thanks for putting us on. If you've been listening in your car,
thanks for the ride.
You're tuned to Polkas After Dark, our broadcast link, Facebook, and now YouTube. Have a great week, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Stay safe.
That's all there is. There is no more. Lights out, please.